Last week I was watching a show called The Proof Is Out There. So far I've only seen a couple episodes, as these days I mostly just read articles on paranormal websites, but it looks like an awesome show. The one I was watching was about the Yowie, and the footage they showed intrigued me, so I wanted to cover it and see what you guys think. In this episode, a Bigfoot researcher, Dean Harrison, and his team claimed to have filmed two Yetis with their infrared camera in Queensland, Australia. One day they decided to go to a location that they believed had a lot of Yowie activity throughout the years, and on this night they decided to use their infrared camera. And while they were filming, they spotted two large heat signatures, and they were shocked at what they captured. This footage shows two massive creatures hiding behind a tree, and at times it even looks like they're hugging the tree. And Dean stated that this is what Yowies do to camouflage themselves when people are around. And I have heard this before. One researcher from Northern California once said that he believed that when people were around, Bigfoot would climb a tree, and when high enough they would hug it to try to blend in with the forest. And if this is true, then it should be easy for us to find them with infrared. And I wonder how many people have actually tried. A matter of fact, I did see a video not that long ago of a drone flying over the forest using infrared in hopes of finding Bigfoot. But sadly so far, they haven't found any evidence. But if Bigfoot is an actual living breathing creature, then I believe that this is how we would find them. Now I found this footage interesting, but of course it could easily be a hoax. But there are a lot of reported sightings of the Yowie. Even the natives of Australia, just like the natives of America, talk about a huge human-like creature that they at times would encounter in the bush. And not too long after the British arrived, they too told tales about a huge hairy beast that walked on two legs. There is a photo that was taken in 1936 in Australia. This photo has always fascinated me. Most believe that it's nothing more than one of those rare cases when nature or objects connect in a way that creates an optical illusion. I forgot the word for it, but it's like seeing Jesus on toast or seeing a giant human walking on the clouds. In this photo you can clearly see what looks like a massive humanoid creature. You can see the massive shoulders, the head, the arms, the legs, and what really shocks me is it is about the same size as a Yowie. And many believe the Yowie, the Sasquatch Bigfoot, is a supernatural being, a creature that can turn invisible, just like that alien in the movie The Predator. And this photo does look exactly like that. Even the person who took this photo believed that on that day, he took a picture of something supernatural.
Nevertheless, Reg was still eager to explore this rugged country and capture it on film. One particular day, he and two mates set out on their most ambitious expedition.
We followed a creek down, and we got into a widening part of the creek where it widened out, and a log had fallen across there. And then behind that widened part of the creek was the Budong Falls. We could hear the water going over the cliff. And I said to my mates, I said, sit on the log over there and I'll take a photo.
The box brownies sure worked overtime, and by the end of the day, Reg had a full roll of happy snaps. One of those frames, though, would eventually suggest that he and his mates were not alone in the bush that afternoon.
When I got the photo developed and printed and looked at it, there's a great big monster-looking thing sitting on a log behind them. I thought, what's this? Couldn't believe it. This is like human.
60 years later, Reg still doesn't know who or what intruded on that tranquil scene. All he can make out is a ghostly figure towering over his mates. Something that looks like a man sitting with his hands in his lap. But then, occasionally, Reg's mind wanders back to those nights by the campfire and those yarns about ghosts and demons in the Batlow bush.
Now after I watched that show, The Proof Is Out There, there were a lot of Bigfoot videos on the homepage of YouTube. I guess Google knew what I was watching. And there was a clip from another show called The Unexplained. And in that clip they talked about a very interesting encounter. One night in Wyoming, a man living in a cabin started to hear some strange noises outside. So he grabbed his gun and went to go check it out. And he saw Bigfoot just standing there staring at him. So scared out of his mind, he shot it and it fell to the ground. But a couple seconds later, it just got up and ran away. Now this man could not believe what had just happened to him, so he reported this to the authorities. And at this time, there were a lot of Bigfoot sightings. So a member from the Forest Services was tasked to look into this. And when he went to this cabin, he found some hair samples on the floor where this Bigfoot fell. So he sent it to get analyzed, and he sent it to one of the top experts in this field. And this expert told him that this was the first time in his whole career that he was stumped. He concluded that this hair must have come from a primate, but there are no primates in this region. Now I was shocked because I never heard of this case before, and here we have a man who claimed to have shot Bigfoot, and there's actual evidence to back it up. You would think that this would make world news, but instead they were both told to never talk about this again, and if they did, they would be fired. Making me wonder how many more cases are out there with actual evidence that's being hid from us. Until next time, this is Paranormal Junkie. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned.